let's take a nice long moment to sit and gather ourselves. And this may be the first time today that you've actually paused and just brought yourself into a little bit of a calmer space. So let's take that opportunity just to breathe and relax. So still trying to sit nice and deliberately, but letting your shoulders be nice and soft. Letting your eyes become nice and heavy. And then just start to take some nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just start to wiggle your toes and then your ankle muscles. Just give them a squeeze. And generally just make your way up your legs, through your pelvis, torso, down your arms. Wiggle your fingers and then come all the way back up through the crown of your head. So you're just giving yourself just a very swift body scan there. And just note any areas of your body that are feeling a little bit sensitive or a little bit stressed. And maybe think about paying them a little extra attention through today's practice. So that when you stretch, give yourself every opportunity to really dig deep into the stretching of that muscle. Good, now next time you start to take an inhale, let's reach our arms up towards the ceiling and stretch out your body as much as you can. This is either by taking your hands up towards the ceiling, or you can interlace your fingers and reach your palms up, whichever way you prefer, just to stretch the whole of your torso, rooting your bum down towards the floor. And just hold it there and just feel your rib cage stretch. Your shoulders may squeeze together a little bit. Good, before releasing your hands down towards the floor. Good, just roll each shoulder back in turn. Turn your body round to the left. And then round to the right. Before coming back to center. And slowly just roll yourselves over onto all fours. And just take a moment to make sure your fingers are spread nice and wide across the mat, and that your thumb and little finger are pressing down a little bit more firmly into the mat. Good, your toes are tucked, knees are hip distance apart and roughly sitting over the top of your hips. Good, now let's just slowly start to move into a cat-cow. So take a long, drawn-out breath in, and as you do, dip your stomach down towards the floor and stick your bum back and look forwards. Good. Now see if you can hold your breath at the top of your inhale. And then as you exhale, reverse all of those movements. So tucking the tailbone under, looking between your knees, and lifting from the center of your back. And again, see if you can hold your breath at the bottom of your exhale. Good, before moving yourself back to a neutral spine. Good, let's just wiggle our tailbone from side to side. Maybe dipping into each shoulder as well. Just so we're trying to move every aspect of our body that we can. Good, and then bring yourself back to a neutral spine again. This time we're going to draw our hands a little bit further forwards, keeping our hips roughly over the top of our knees. Just slowly start to allow your chest to come down towards the floor. Now you may not get all the way down. You may just have to hover, just as long as you're pressing your hands down into the floor, keeping your bum elevated, and just letting that chest dip down. Good, take a long breath in, and then let it go. Good. Let's just lift ourselves up ever so slightly and then slide your right arm underneath the left armpit. And then take the same type of movement, but this time into a twist. Looking underneath your left armpit. Again, long breath in. Steady breath out. Good. Slowly come back to where you were. Swapping over your arms, so your left arm goes underneath your right armpit. Taking it into that twist. Long breath in. And then steadily let it out. Good, come back to center. Start to pad your hands back towards you. So you come back onto your all fours position. And then again, let's begin our cat-cow. So long inhale, stomach dips. Exhale, back lifts. Again, inhale, stomach dips. Look forwards. Exhale, middle of your back lifts. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Good, back to a neutral spine. Let's bring our hands a little bit further forwards towards the top of the mat. Making sure our fingers are spread still nicely. And that your thumb and little finger are still pressing that a little bit more firmly down into the mat. Now, when you're ready, let's try and squeeze our elbows together as much as you can here. So imagine you're trying to pull the two arms towards one another. And then lift your knees away from the floor and slowly reach yourself back into a downward facing dog. Good. Take a long breath in and then let it go. Now, next time you inhale, let's lift our left foot up towards the top of the mat. If it doesn't quite make it, you can always pop your back knee down and then just manually shift that left foot up towards the top of the mat. Good, now make sure you feel nice and strong in your stance, okay? So your right knee is planted into the floor, toes are tucked, feeling solid. Left foot equally so. Good, now when you're ready, let's inhale and reach up into a low lunge. Good, now let's sink a little deeper into that front knee and stretch out our inner thighs. Good, hold it there. Keep reaching those arms up nice and high. Breathe. Feel strong in your legs. Good. And then slip yourself back up to your normal low lunge before leading with your right hand down towards the floor and reach your left arm up a little higher. Option here to lift your back knee away from the floor if you wish. And then again, sink a little bit deeper into your front knee. Because you're really feeling that stretch on the inside of your left thigh. Keep breathing. Good, now when you're ready, let's bring that left hand down towards the floor and pop the right knee back down as well, if you had it lifted. Good, now take a long breath in. And press your chest onto the top of your left thigh. Good, now nice and slowly, shift your hips back as far as your body allows. So you're trying to straighten out your left leg. Now don't worry if you can't get it fully straight. You just want to try and glue your chest towards the top thigh and keep trying to press back. And you may feel it in your hamstring, in your inner thigh, in here, or on the outside of that left leg. Just get as far back as you're able to, and then begin to rebend into that front knee. Good, let's plant our hands either side of that left foot, and then slide the left foot back. So we come back onto all fours. Good, tuck the toes, and lift yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Good, long breath in. And then sigh it out. Good, and just hold yourself in downward facing dog, trying to feel that full back stretch. So lifting your bum up as high as you can, giving a nice little bend into your knees here to help, and pressing with your hands. So you're one long plank from your fingertips through to your tailbone. Good. Now, as you inhale, let's draw our right foot forwards and up towards the top of the mat. Again, if you don't quite make it, you can bring your back knee down and step the foot up using your hands to help you. Good. Now, when you're ready, let's lift into a low lunge. Good. Stretch up right from the base of your shoulder blades and reach your hands up nice and high. Good. Now try and bend a little deeper into that front knee so you can feel your inner thighs stretching. Hold it there. Breathe. Good. Now when you're ready, we're going to lead with our left hand down towards the floor and lift our right arm up. Option again here is to lift your back knee away from the floor if you want to get into a little bit of a deeper stretch here. And then again, sink deep into that right knee, stretch out your inner thighs. Breathe. Good, wherever you are, drop your back knee down and right hand comes to frame your right foot. Good, now again, let's glue our chest towards the top of the right thigh and then slowly start to try and shift our hips back, trying to straighten out that right leg as much as possible. You may even find it easier just to wiggle your foot forwards rather than shifting your hip further back. Once you've got to that point where you can really feel your hamstrings stretch, breathe. Just feel that stretch. Note the area of your body that's feeling it. Hold it steady. Breathe. Until you can then rebend into that front knee and relax the muscles. Good, let's slide our right foot back onto all fours. Hands come down onto the mat, spreading those fingers nice and wide. Good, and then lift yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Good. Once you've lengthened out your back, bring your knees to the mat, but take them a little wider. Bring your big toes to touch and untuck your toes. And then sink yourself back into a wide-kneed child's pose. And breathe. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Just allow those hips to sink down a little bit further with every exhale. And let your head rest, either just dangling or pressed into the mat. Good, let's plant the hands deep into the mat. Pull yourself up onto all fours, tuck the toes, and lift yourself up and back again into downward facing dog. Good, now come really high onto your tiptoes and begin to do small steps up towards the top of the mat, taking extra care to go nice and slowly. Once you get as far up as you can before having to flip yourself up onto your fingertips, keep the steps moving until eventually you end up at the top of the mat, folded over your legs. Now just release any tension that's in the top part of your body. So from your waist up, just let it hang and breathe. Good. Now nice and slowly roll your body up. Keep that movement as slow as possible. And then when you finally get all the way up to standing tall, reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Stretch yourself as long as possible. Take a long breath in. And then as you exhale, bend the knees and fold. So you're bringing your hands back down onto the floor. So bend your knees as much as you need to do this. Good, we're going to slide our right leg back about 3/4 of the distance of the mat so you can bring the heel down. And you should feel a nice stretch running through your calf and hamstring. Then when you're ready, inhale, lift yourself up into a warrior one stance. Good, so take a nice strong bend into your left knee. Reach your hands up nice and high. And stretch out that right calf. Good, when you're ready, start to take your left foot a little bit further towards the left edge of the mat. Again, strong bend into the knee. Reach your hands forwards. Swoop them back. Interlace your thumbs. And then bow down over that left knee into that space you've just created. Now go as deep here as you're able to. Remember to breathe. Good, and then uninterlace your thumbs and re-extend back up towards the ceiling. Good, before stepping the right foot up towards the top of the mat. So we should be with our feet roughly a little bit over hip distance apart. Good, now let's begin to fold forward. So we're reaching our hands forwards until you come perpendicular with the floor. So you're making like an L shape. So legs are straight, back is straight, arms reaching forwards. Good, then slowly start to lift yourself back up. Again, take a long breath in, reach your hands up nice and high, bending just from the pelvis. Reach forwards, look at the floor. Good, and then lift up again. Good, last time we're going to do that. So reach forwards, keep those arms reaching forwards, and then begin to bend into your knees so that you can bring your hands down, either to dangle just above the floor or to bring your fingertips down. Good, now we're going to spider move our fingers over towards our right leg. Good, now take hold of the outside of your right leg with both hands. Now, when you're ready, pull a little bit on that leg. Find some resistance with the leg by pushing against your hands and use it as a way to twist your body round to the right-hand side. Good. Now, with your right hand, maybe lift it up towards the ceiling. Good. Before bringing everything back down and back to center. Good, again, find some buoyancy in your legs, so just bounce a little bit on them. Good, before starting to spider move your fingers over towards the other side. So at first, taking hold of the outer part of your left leg with both hands. Pull on it, twist to the left-hand side, and then your left arm, if you're feeling it, can come up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Good, let's come back down. Hands move back towards the center and then roll the body up. Interlace the fingers, reach the palms towards the ceiling. So you're stretching yourself nice and long. Long breath in and then let it go. Good. Bend the knees and begin to fold yourself back down towards the floor so you can get your fingertips and palms down onto the mat. So bend your knees nice and deeply here. Good, we're gonna slide our left leg back. Again, 3/4 of the way back to the mat. So you can bring the heel down and point the toes a little bit out to the left-hand side. When you're ready, reach up. Good, reach those hands up nice and high. Bend nice and deeply into that right knee so you can feel the stretch on your left calf. Keep breathing. Good, when you're ready, start to take the right foot out towards the right-hand side. Good. Throw your arms forwards. Swing them behind you. Interlace the thumbs. And then fold as deeply as you can into that space you've just made, just to the left-hand side of your right knee. Keep feeling that strength in your legs, holding you steady as you begin to reach your hands back towards the ceiling. Good. Bend nice and deeply into that right knee. And then step yourself up towards the top of the mat. Good. Again, so your legs are roughly just over hip distance apart. Turn your feet so that they are out towards the sides a little bit. Good. Let's bring our hands down into a prayer by our chest. Now, nice and slowly, we're going to bend our knees, stick our bum back, and see if you can get your elbows to touch your knees before coming all the way back up. Good. Again, bend your knees, elbows touch, and then come back up. And then last one, bend those knees, elbows touch, and then come back up. Good. Again, extend your arms up towards the ceiling, and then exhale to fold back down towards the floor. Step back with both feet into a plank. Lower your knees to the floor. Pull your body as far forwards over the tops of your fingers as you can. And then bending your elbows, take yourself through a chaturanga, cobra, pressing the tops of the feet down onto the mat, rolling your shoulders back. And then press yourself back into a child's pose. And breathe. Long breaths in, steady breaths out. Good, just take a moment to let your breath come back to you and find that rhythm. Good, and when you're ready, slowly pull your body up onto all fours and then come down onto your elbows, walking your elbows forwards enough so that you can bring your hips down onto the floor, taking your arms straight with the palms flat down on the floor, elbows pressing in into a Sphinx pose. So you should be feeling this in your lower back muscles, just holding yourself nice and steady. Relax your bum. Good. Now roll your body down towards the floor and then inhale to reverse that roll back up into your Sphinx pose. Again, roll the body down and then lift the body up. Nice and slowly so you have control of your lower back muscles that are helping you do this. Relaxing your shoulders. Keep those movements nice and steady. Good. Now let's bring ourselves fully down onto the floor. Let's take our arms behind us as if you're reaching for your feet. Now as you inhale, reach your hands back to lift the top part of your chest away from the floor, and then lift your feet away from the floor as well. Good. See if you can hold it there. Breathe. And release. Good, take a few breaths. And then again, when you're ready, top part of the chest lifts away from the floor, as does your feet, and then reach back. See if this time you can look forwards. And then release. Good. Let's bring our hands back up towards our shoulders. But this time, let's take our left arm out to the side, palm flat down on the floor, while our right hand comes onto its fingertips and the elbow points towards the ceiling. Then start to bend your right knee
Good, and then begin to roll yourself onto your left hip, bringing your right foot behind you if you can. If you can't get this foot behind you, you can just hover it in the air, just so that you've rolled round enough so that you can start to feel a stretch in your pectoral muscles, your chest, your boob. Once you've found it, strengthen your left leg by pressing the heel back. Relax your head and breathe. Good, then nice and slowly, roll yourself back gently onto your front and begin to swap over the way that your arms are. Now, if like me, you have a wall in the way on the right-hand side, you may just need to bend the elbow of your right arm, so you have space to still put the palm flat down on the floor. Then when you're ready, bend the left knee and begin to roll yourself onto your right hip, potentially bringing that left foot behind you, strengthening the right leg by pressing the heel away from you and feeling that stretch across your right pec. Breathe. Good. When you're ready, slowly roll yourself back onto your front. Bring your arms close into you, elbows tucked in, palms flat down on the floor. And then again, press into the mat to lift your torso into a sphinx pose. Hold yourself nice and steady. And breathe. Good. Now tuck your toes just to help you lift yourself back onto all fours. And then untuck them again and sink yourself back down into a child's pose. Now you have some options here with your arms. You can either keep them reaching out front to stretch them, or you can wrap them around your body for a more restorative pose. Letting your head become loose. And breathe. Just feeling your breath expanding your chest into your knees. And every time you exhale, feeling yourself sink into your knees just a little bit more. Good, and then nice and slowly, roll yourself up so that you're sitting on your heels. Now again, if this is not a comfortable position for you, that's absolutely fine. You can swing your legs around and take a cross-legged position, or you can have your legs straight out front if you prefer. This next bit focuses on our shoulders, so it doesn't really matter what's going on with your legs, as long as you are upright and comfortable. So when you're ready, reach your arms towards the ceiling. Bend your left elbow behind your head and maneuver it so that it gets as far back and across as you can manage, okay? There are no achievements for getting your arm all the way across. If you are still over here, that's fine. As long as you can comfortably put your head on your palm, wrist, forearm, something, and use the other hand just to keep that elbow in place. Good. Now, start to reach your elbow up into this hand, okay? So we're trying to lift it up into the hand just to get a bit of resistance. And then once you've managed to do that, lean your body back a little bit. It will help to open up your chest and stretch the shoulder blade. Keep that breath nice and steady.
Good, and then release both arms. Interlace the thumbs behind your back. And then begin to fold forwards. Good, and then roll yourself up nice and slowly. Before reaching your arms back up towards the ceiling, but this time we'll do the same thing, just on the other side. So find that position that your arm best fits into. Find the place that your head can rest against it. And then again, with this other hand on top of the elbow, start to press the two together so you'll find some rigidity into your arms. And then finally, begin to lean back ever so slightly, so not too much, just enough that you can feel the pressure of the back of your head in your arm. And breathe. And release. Good. This time, interlace your thumbs in front of you and press your hands forwards and use them as a guide to reach forwards and down towards the floor. Before rolling yourself all the way back up to your seated position. Good. Let's shift ourselves onto our bum if you're not there already. And take our legs out in front of us. Good, just give your knees a little up and down movement just to wiggle them free of any tension. And the same with your toes, just give your toes a little wiggle as well. Now try your best to sit up nice and straight here. If you struggle to sit up straight with your legs out front, you can either use a brick or a pillow or anything really that will elevate your hips up and help to tilt them forwards a little bit. So you get that natural forward movement rather than leaning back. Good, when you're ready, inhale and lift your arms up towards the ceiling to straighten out your torso. Curl your toes back towards you and press your heels forward so your legs are taut. And then fold yourself forwards. Now, once your chest has come forwards as much as it's able to, let your hands drop. Now you may have your hands taking hold of your knee or underside of your knee or the upper part of your knee. You may be here where I am, taking hold of the calf. Or if you're a bit more flexible in your hip, you may have your hands forwards and round by your toes. No matter where you are, shrug your shoulders back. Let your chest pull forwards. Feel a stretch that runs from your Achilles tendon all the way up your legs and into your lower back. And ask yourself if you're feeling any stretching happening in your upper body. And if you are, maybe bring your hands back a little bit more, just to allow the back of your legs to stretch here in this forward fold. And breathe. Good. When you're ready, roll yourself back up to your seated position, and we're going to take our left leg in towards us, and if possible, popping it over the side of your right leg. Now with your left hand, swing it round and behind you so you have something to press down into to help lift your chest up and feel nice and tall. Good. Now keeping the extended leg nice and active by the toes, start to wrap your right arm around the bent knee. Okay, you may be able to get your elbow right up into the crease of the knee, or you may just have your hand. It doesn't matter. As long as you can start to twist gently around to the left-hand side. Still sitting nice and tall and breathing. Good. Start to bring yourself back round, facing the front. And just keep going until you can get yourself around a little bit more for a small counter twist on the other side. Before coming back to center. Good. Let's swap over our legs. So lengthen out your left, bring in your right, squeeze that leg up as close to you as possible. If you're able to, maybe even pop the leg over the other. Good. Right hand reaches round and behind us and presses down to lift ourselves up. And then with the other arm, wrap it around this leg so that you can help twist to the right hand side. Still keeping the extended leg nice and active. And just breathing into your twist. Good, and then nice and slowly, bring everything back round towards the front and take that counter twist to the other side before coming back to center. Good, bend both knees, bringing the soles of the feet flat down onto the floor and then gently roll yourself back so that you come to lie down on the floor. Good, just swing your knees gently from side to side. And then begin to draw the knees in towards your chest. And then move them away and towards you, just so you can massage your lower back, upper bum, towards your mid back on the floor. So just moving those knees forwards and backwards. Good, now keeping the knees up by your chest, now begin to move them from side to side. Let's start to gently bring our feet down onto the floor, knees still bent. Knees are roughly hip distance apart. Now bring both hands down by your side, palms facing the floor. Then when you're ready, press down with your feet to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. So go up as high as you can, keep pressing your feet down firmly, and then bring your chin towards your chest. Hold it there and breathe. Keeping it steady, stretching out the front part of your pelvis. And when you're ready, slowly as possible, roll each vertebrae of your spine down towards the mat. Good, we're going to slide our left foot forwards. So we're straightening out that leg. We're keeping it nice and strong. So still activate your toes and heels here. Good, start to draw the right knee a little closer towards your chest and take hold of that knee with just your left hand. Good, do small circles with that knee before drawing it across the body, keeping your right shoulder blade flat down on the floor. Take your right hand out to the side and turn your head to the right into a crocodile twist. Good, and then gently move that right leg back. And then swap over your legs. So stretch your right leg long. And bring your left knee in towards your chest. Again, do small circles with your left knee before drawing that leg across your body. Left shoulder blade stays flat down onto the floor. And then turn your head to the left. And extend your left arm out. Good, and then draw that left leg back. And then extend it out to meet the right. Now, either keeping both arms out to the side here to help your chest broaden, or bringing them down by your side. It's entirely up to you. And start to take a long breath in through your nose. Fill your chest. And then release. And then just let your breath become as soft as it wishes. Soften the muscles in your face and in your jaw. Just allow yourself to sink. And let your mind wander to wherever it wishes to go, giving it the freedom. And then nice and slowly start to regain your breath. So start to fill your chest with a little extra air. And take steady breaths out. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And awaken the muscles in your face. Before bringing an inhale in through your nose and drawing your legs up towards your chest. And then slowly rolling yourself either to the right or the left-hand side. Bringing yourself slowly back to the position that you took at the beginning of the class. And take a long breath in through your nose. And then let it go. Thank you for joining today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the long weekend ahead. But to each and every one of you, but most importantly to yourselves, we can bow and say, Namaste.